Why is your dad telling me that you're growing green beans in your apartment? Because I am growing green beans in my apartment. You live on the 41st floor. That's why I bought a 5-foot-long planter box. Why green beans? The seeds were on sale at Jewel. You do realize how tall green beans get, don't you? Oh, like a couple inches. They're pretty cute. No, they get to be like 2 feet tall. Oh.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down!
This is my bunny ear cactus. I just want to remove some of this stretched out growth and give it a repot today. Also, please don't touch these because those little spikes are a nightmare to get rid of. So I'm using gloves and some folded up newspaper to protect my hands, and then I can just twist off all the sections that I want to remove. So now I can start repotting. This cactus isn't root bound, so I can just put it straight into a pot. I'm just going to break up the soil a little bit and then add a little bit of fresh soil on top. So the stretched out sections that I took earlier, I'm just going to let them callus over for a few days. Then they can go into soil, they can grow their own roots, and they can just do their own thing.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
How are you, how are you not broke?
How am I not broke?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Because you spend so much.
People are still commenting on my $1,000 plant video and are shocked to see these plants going for over $1,000. But what most people don't realize is that they can actually be a pretty good investment. Just like with all investing, success requires a combination of knowledge, skill, and luck. I'm going to break this down for you. So I'm going to break down why some plants go up in value, why some of them go down, what are some things to look out for. And this is going to be multiple parts, so go ahead and like or make sure you're following for subsequent parts. The most straightforward way to break even on your plants is to just let them grow. You can take cuttings later and sell them. It's not so simple though when the price of a plant totally crashes like it did with this Monstera obliqua Peru. I'll be talking more about this one in the next video.
You want to know about begonias? Okay, first of all, who's asking?
Begonias are a genus of plant that belong in the family Begoniaceae, and it includes 2 genera. Hillebrandia, a genus of plants that includes 1 species. And Begonia, a genus of plants that includes 1,000 species. Begonia care is all pretty similar, with 2 main things you have to keep in mind. Some of them are iridescent and they can take a little bit less light than the non-iridescent ones. While the lighting requirements tend to be a little bit more forgiving, the main thing you have to watch out for is that these pots do not dry out. Otherwise you're gonna get crispy edges and it just is really dramatic.
If you could keep the humidity high, that's good. And follow me for more stuff.
I might get a lot of shit for this, but something that I think that society doesn't pay enough attention to and doesn't talk about enough is me.
One of the most annoying things about being a plant parent is when you take a trip and before you leave, you get your plants totally situated and you water them, make sure that they're gonna be happy while you're gone as best you can. And when you come back, they freaking need you again. Like, I just watered you. Like, the last time we had an interaction together, I was watering you. And of course the plant's like, Mom, you're the one that ditched us and left. Just think we weren't gonna continue on living our lives, using our water while you were gone. How self-centered of you.
Don't buy a plant, don't buy a plant, don't buy a plant. Don't buy a plant. Don't buy a plant. Don't buy a plant.
So I bought some plants.
So recently I've been seeing a lot of pseudoscience go around online and on TikTok about some plants, and I figured I want to make shit up too. Okay, hold on. Pseudoscience means it's fake. Some of you didn't know that. This is called a debongle, and basically its care is that you just fill up your bathtub with really hot water, and then it lives in there. This is called a manincle. You'd use it to measure the air. You gotta always spray your plants if you could figure out how to work it. If you got a plant that looks like this, throw it out, it's dead. If you go to a plant shop, always pay in nickels or always running out of nickels.
Okay, so newest update. It's looking okay. This one's dying very rapidly. This one's doing okay. Probably need to water it. Both this is doing okay. This one's slowly browning, so I think I'm able to like kind of save it. This Cebu has a brown leaf. But this striped moonlight is still doing pretty good. So there's some dead bugs in there. I still haven't put a frog in here, which is why I think it's kind of not really working as an ecosystem, but I don't know what else to do.
Beat that boy with a bat. Damn, sorry I blew you off.
When you buy a little plant and it's doing great, you break off a piece and you propagate. You make another plant. Ooh yeah, a baby brother plant.
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you 3 low maintenance houseplants. First is the pothos plant. Pothos only require watering every 7 to 10 days and they grow like crazy. This big plant came from one small stem like this. Next is the snake plant. Snake plants thrive in almost any light condition and only need watering every 2 weeks, so if you forget to water it, you're all good. And last is the aloe plant, which actually prefers drier soil, so give it a mist every couple weeks and you're good to go.
So you're telling me that I have to come up with a solution all by myself to a problem that I created all by myself? Well, that's not fair.
How to keep your fiddle fig happy. Give it a good shake. Give it bright indirect light. Make sure to give your fiddle fig a thorough soak so you can see the water drain out the bottom. If something's wrong, your plant will communicate with you.
This is a plant hack you didn't know you needed. If you're always getting like pissed off when this shit happens and it doesn't like stay in there, let me show you how to make it fucking stay in there. This is also really good for if you want the aerial roots to grow back into the soil rather than out of the soil. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a hairpin or a bobby pin, either works. I'm going to use a hairpin because it's already like pulled apart. And you're going to take your piece and you are literally going to put the pin in and push it into the dirt like that. That's going to encourage that aerial root to grow back into the dirt, and you can see how many pins I have in here because I have wrapped this monstera around on itself so many times to create a fuller looking plant. This does not harm your plant, it goes in like around the stems and it just encourages all the aerial roots to grow back into the dirt.
I do not need more propagation containers. I do not need more propagation containers. More propagation containers.
I've gotten really into variegated alocasias lately, but didn't really know where to start because they all kind of look the same on Instagram, weirdly. So here's a video of these where you can see them side by side and really see the differences. First I want to show you the variegated black velvet alocasia. The back sides of the leaves are a really deep purple, and so the variegation really comes through as a nice shade of pink. This variegated dragon scale is so different. The leaf is not velvety, but it has this amazing texture, and the yellow variegation really shows up against the dark background. And this is the backside of the leaf. This variegated frydek has big, velvety, arrow-shaped leaves, and the variegation just shows up beautifully. Even this leaf that was almost all white actually kind of faded to more of a green color. This little variegated black stem is pretty cool too. It's not velvety, so it doesn't really have much texture, but it's got great color and a black stem. White leaves on variegated plants can look so beautiful, but they can also be trouble, so let's talk about it. Plants need chlorophyll in order to produce energy from sunlight, and chlorophyll is green. So a plant that has white variegation is actually mutated, and the less green it has, the less energy it can produce. Sometimes a white variegated plant can sustain all white leaves for quite some time, but the leaves are not producing any energy for the plant, and it's entirely relying on these little green pieces here. So at the slightest disturbance, like the wrong humidity levels, under or overwatering, or the wrong amount of sunlight, will kill these white leaves. They'll just turn brown and shrivel. There are some exceptions to this. This Monstera adansanii archipelago ghost starts off white and then fades to green. And also this Alocasia frydek actually has a minty color that it fades to, so that the leaves won't die.